Cesar, the crowd pleaser. If you need to pick me up, ladies, we gon' change your demeanor. Caesar, the crowd pleaser. We gon' do a little dance, we gon' make the naysayers believe us. Hey girl, had a long day, you tired from work. Throw me some dollars and I'll remove my shirt. You can touch me too, these are the perks. Free yourself, lose your mind and go berserk, and go berserk, and go berserk, and go berserk.
Make way for the bad guy.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Crowd Pleaser, the podcast that brings you the inside scoop on what it takes to be a male entertainer in today's age. I'm your host, Cesar the Crowd Pleaser, and this is going to be episode 55, where we're going to be talking about improving your self-view. I feel like there is a lot of people that come to the club for negative, positive reasons and everything in between, but there is a lot of good that happens there between the interaction of the entertainers and the ladies with themselves and stuff like that. So on the show today, I am bringing two good friends of mine that went through a pseudo transformation themselves over the course of time that they were coming to LaBare, and I was able to be there for it. And it is absolutely amazing seeing the caterpillar to butterfly transformation, so to speak, if I could be a little cliche. I think it's something that's important for other people to know, because you yourself, or maybe a friend that you know, could be in a similar spot where these ladies started off at, and hearing some of the details of their journey could potentially help you or them improve the place that you are at or the view you have of yourself. But as usual, a little bit of housekeeping. Want to mention our Patreon, patreon.com/crowdpleaser. This is where you can give back to the show, kind of earn some extra perks and rewards, but pretty much just kind of giving me the old monetary thank you for putting out this content, stuff like that. The money I get from that does go back into the show, my various projects, to create more content for you all. Every week on the show, I like to shout out a specific patron, just let them know I appreciate them. This show, it's going to be Susan Hubbard. Thank you so much for your contributions. You rock. Next up is LaBare Dallas, where I operate at alongside 15 other entertainers. We are open Wednesday to Sunday, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. And definitely come out and check it out. The other thing too I'd like to mention is our private parties. You can hire any entertainer you see on the website to come out to your home, hotel room, venue. Doesn't matter what you're having your party at, and we will bring the same great show to your doorstep. All right, so moving right along, let me go ahead and introduce my two great hosts. My first one I've known for a very long time, actually, going on, I think 4 or 5 years now. I've been coming to the club. She recently got a new job that has been one of the goals of her life, and it's absolutely great that I'm able to have her on the show. I want to welcome on the show Amy. How you doing, Amy?
Good. How are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to volunteer to do this. It was kind of a little from the hip idea that came to me in the middle of a dance, I think, and you totally agreed to it. I say totally, but there was some hesitation, but you're on the show now, so I think that's great. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And next up, known her for, I think, going on 2 years now. We actually met celebrating our birthdays together. And it's kind of been a running tradition now, 2 or 3 years now. I kind of lose track, but I want to welcome on the show, Sarah. How you doing, Sarah?
Hello, I am great, Cesar. How are you?
Once again, doing fantastic. Super excited about this show. I think it's great that you actually had zero hesitation about being on the show and doing this. So I think that's great.
Absolutely. I'm happy to share my story.
All right, sweet. So let's go ahead and use that as a segue into it. Let's just start off why you ladies think it is important to kind of get this information out there. Let's go ahead and start off with you, Sarah.
Okay. I think a lot of people kind of hesitate about going to the club. You know, they're thinking, ooh, I don't, what to do. There's so many guys. But for me, after my divorce, it was actually very helpful for me to get out of my comfort zone, to put myself out there. I hadn't flirted in so long. So to have these attractive guys kind of pay attention, listen, and give me compliments, it was really helpful because I felt seen. And again, I've met a lot of awesome people there. So it's really, a unique place to just kind of meet all kinds of different people, but in a good way.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Mhm.
And let's move on. Amy, why do you think it's important to be on the show and get this information out there?
Well, just like Sarah said, just getting yourself out there. I was very shy, and coming to the club has brought me out of that. I had friends. I'm from a small town, and I had friends, you know, all the time, but never outside of my area. And so now I've been able to meet people from not just at the club, but people that come there. So I have friends in other states now, and just friends for a lifetime.
All right, cool. So you ladies are great. You've already touched on a couple of points I wanted to hit on. Let's start at the very beginning and going back to you, Amy. What place, and I'll use the term negative for a negative positive thing, even though I know it's not as bad. So give us a little bit of details of the place you were at before, like the bottom rung, so to speak, or where you felt like you were not living the life you wanted to live.
Oh, absolutely. I was at the bottom. I was severely depressed. I just hated myself. I had no self-esteem. I had a great family and a great small, close friend group. But outside of that, I didn't see my worth. I struggled a lot. Every day was a struggle for me. So I was at the bottom, and it wasn't any fun. It wasn't fun to cry. It wasn't fun to hate myself. It wasn't. So I've been at the bottom. The bottom is exactly where I was.
Okay. And Sarah, how about you? Can you explain kind of where you were at after your divorce?
Oh, absolutely. Like Amy was saying, I kind of lost my sense of worth. I had gained so much weight because I was just so unhappy and kind of a loveless marriage. You know, he just stopped trying after a while. So I just didn't know who I was without somebody. I felt lost, and, you know, I was kind of scared to have to start all over again. And I kind of felt lonely, like a disappointment, you know, I'm the one who ended it, you know, but I still felt like I kind of failed at this relationship and was kind of scared, you know, because Tinder and Bumble didn't exist when I was married. So it's just kind of scary to think about putting myself out there again. So I was kind of terrified and lost.
Okay. And so what brought you to LaBare? Like, was it a friend's suggestion? Was it something you suggested? Was it a special event?
It's funny that you say that because actually, so my divorce was finalized on a Friday, and my sister's boyfriend at the time actually recommended them taking me to a male strip club. So that Saturday, they took me to LaBare, and that was, I think, the first time I met you, Cesar. And I just had so much fun, you know, just to get out there and look at attractive men and flirt, have a lot of drinks, you know, because it'd been so long since I'd been out with my girlfriends. So it was just a fun experience. And actually, that was the day I found out you were celebrating your birthday in February. And shortly after, that's when I booked our birthday for that February. So I think it was all meant to be, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I definitely remember that first night, and it was a ton of fun. And you just looked like you were on cloud nine the whole night. Super shy, but still having a great time.
Yes, lots of smiling going on.
So both you mentioned stepping out of your comfort zone and going to LaBare. Was going to LaBare kind of a trial by fire type thing, kind of diving yourself into something where you're gonna have to interact with a lot of people. There's gonna be instead of going to like maybe a house event at someone's house where there's only a handful of people, you're going into somewhere where there's a ton of people, there's a ton of guys. You can essentially talk to whoever you want. How is that for stepping out of your comfort zone, Amy?
When I went for my birthday, and it was not supposed to be a thing that I did more than one time. My friends took me because I had been wanting to go. When I went in there, I was very shy, and that was when actually you were still a waiter. You were our waiter. And I was schnockered, not going to lie, because I was shy, didn't know what to expect. But the atmosphere that was there, it brought me back, and it's brought me back for many, many times. And I find myself now, if my friends say, let's go out, I'm always suggesting, let's go to LaBare, let's go. And because I know that they will have just as much fun as I have and have had.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it feels like part of your path to recovery, or rite of passage, so to speak, was kind of being outside your comfort zone, a place where you're highly stimulated in multiple angles, and then essentially finding comfort and almost seeking that. Was that kind of the first step for you, Sarah?
Yes, definitely. Again, being married, I kind of lost my girlfriend, so I didn't really have, much of a social life. And LaBare was kind of the one place I felt comfortable enough going to by myself if needed, because, it was just a safe environment. It was very controlled. I didn't have to worry about creeps hitting on me or anything like that. So, and it was also to see what I can get away with. I would start wearing different clothes and different makeup to see, what kind of reaction I'd get. And so I think that helped me just kind of become more bold and then more daring. And now I am the person who I am because of, all the times that I've been there. So it's been good transformation, definitely.
Now, you mentioned being bold and going by yourself. How big of a hurdle was it to make the transition of going with your friends to decide that you are comfortable enough to go on your own?
Oh, I mean, it's been really good actually on my self-esteem, because last year alone I went to 13 concerts, and a lot of the times I went by myself. So I think it's definitely helped my confidence, and there's nothing wrong with going somewhere you want to go by yourself. We're all there for the same reason, and just to be yourself, have fun, and you're bound to meet some other awesome people, as long as you're yourself and have fun.
Yeah, I think it's a very good point that you bring that up, because that's something that I've very rarely experienced in my life. I'm kind of the person where if I want to go see a movie or go somewhere, that if I can't find someone to go with, I'll still go by myself because I don't want to miss out on the opportunity.
Exactly.
But that is something that a lot of people kind of battle with and struggle. And like, granted, there is always the argument that you're never alone when you come to LaBare, because your friends at the very least are going to be up on stage.
Right.
So, absolutely.
How about you, Amy? When did you start to see yourself gaining confidence and becoming more bold with the actions you took?
I think it was almost, not that first night, because like I said, that was kind of a shock and it was going to be a one-time thing. But when I came back and showed all my friends, the few friends that, I trusted to show the pictures to, because I am from a small town and people kind of look down on it. But once I showed my friends, they were like, "Ooh, let's go." And I was like, "Okay, let's go." And so then that next time, it was just like it started. I started being more comfortable then. And then each time I went, it was just more comfortable. The more I got to talk to not only you guys, but the wait staff, and then the people, the other women that were there. It just slowly started. I mean, I'm always going to be a work in progress, but it just immediately I felt better about myself. And like Sarah said, started dressing different, before I never wore makeup or cared what my hair looked like, and never worn jewelry and all this stuff. And so I found myself wanting to wear that and look good, not for anybody in particular. And even at that point, it wasn't even for myself, but it was because my friends were doing it and we were having fun. And it made me feel better.
Yeah, that actually, I like that. It was one of the things that both of you brought up. So let's touch on that a little bit. Let's talk about that change that you saw from not really liking the way you looked, not really liking the person you were, and then starting to change your physical appearance, both through makeup, through workouts, through the clothes. Let's dive a little bit deeper about that. Do you mind continuing on that, Amy?
Sure. I know there was a couple times that I asked your help, actually. And there were several times that I rolled my eyes at you and told you whatever. I've gotten better about that. But it pushed me to want to work out, to get better, and I was dressing because I had a vision in my head, the way the girls I thought I wanted to look like were at the club. Now that I'm older, I know that that's not going to happen, and that's perfectly okay. So now, the past few years, I've been dressing for me, not for anybody else, not based on what anybody else does. If I like it and I feel good in it, then that's what I'm wearing. And I find that in my life now too, in my professional life and my personal life, that's what it is. I'm not trying to copy anybody.
Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of like just a small piece of the puzzle to add, where as you started to gain confidence and value in yourself, you decided to look on the outside at how you started to feel on the inside, correct?
Absolutely. Yes. I worked out, diets, and through that, I started feeling better on the inside about myself.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I think that's extremely important. I think that's one of the biggest keys to the transformation that I've seen. Similar with you, Sarah. I saw you start to change your wardrobe. You had more confidence in the way you looked and things like that. Give us some details on that journey for you.
Okay. Again, after the divorce, I kind of lost who I was. He wanted me to be a certain way. And so I was still trying to figure myself out, who I was. And then the more I went there, I just kind of, I guess, got back into my love for music and kind of channeled my inner rock star and just started being more daring. And again, I think once you start feeling confident on the inside, it starts to show on the outside. So you're more willing to try new things. And because again, if you rock with confidence, everyone's gonna be like, wow, she looks great, even, despite what it really does look like. But, now I have purple hair that I'm rocking and neon green nails. And I just love that I can express myself however I want and just be happy with who I am, because I finally know, like, hey, this is Sarah. She's awesome. I don't really care what other people think. I'm happy with who I am today. So I've come a long way since, I first went in there. So yeah, a lot more confidence. Definitely.
Now, when it came to your physical appearance, primarily, let's say fashion and makeup, did both of you find yourselves just kind of picking and choosing what you felt was correct, or did you seek outside help from your friends, one of those like makeover things? Like, what was that transition for you? Go ahead, Sarah, keep going with that one.
Okay. For me, I think it was actually after I came back from my trip to Poland. I kind of, I had blonde hair and I kind of wanted to try some new things. So I bought a lot of makeup at Ulta from Urban Decay and just started playing with, winged eyeliner and stuff like that. And I fell in love with it. So now I, always have winged eyeliner and bold lipstick. And it just kind of came all together, I guess. And it helped me again figure out who I was. I'm like, all right, I dig this look. It's very me. And it also makes me feel more confident whenever I go out. I just feel good and feel pretty. And it's also a lot of fun to do with the hair and the makeup, to try new things. And again, it's more for what I like. And, I don't really follow trends. I just kind of do what I feel like and what I think looks good on me. So, and it works.
Sweet. No, that's great. I just wanted to touch on it as to help those that are going through something similar. They may not necessarily know what path to take on that. How about you,
Right.
Amy?
I just did the opposite. I relied on, I had a couple friends that come to the club with me all the time. I relied on them because their makeup always looked good. I had no idea what I was doing. Even growing up as a kid, I was the tomboyish, playing sports, never really wore makeup. So I asked them to help me with my makeup. And then I just slowly made it my own. And I got a little sassy with it. But it took me a long time. I've never been one to see myself as that pretty girl, as that, beauty. So it took a lot of playing. A lot of my friends, just if I did something wrong, every time before we'd get ready to leave, I'd be like, does this look okay? Does this look okay? I mean, I was constantly stressing over it. And, eventually something clicked and it just happened. And I rock it now too. And as Sarah said, I've had purple hair. I don't right now, but I will pretty soon.
Nice.
But yeah, it just makes me feel sassy. And that's what I've missed. I used to be before I lost all my self-confidence, and now I'm back.
Nice. That's awesome. Like I said, that's exactly why I have you ladies on the show. I think this is really going to be helpful because you walk down this path, so there's a good chance that someone else is in the exact same place that you are at or where you started at, and you ladies are going to help them make that transition. So you both kind of touched on the friends thing. Some of you brought friends with you that you've kept or reacquainted yourself with friends, and sometimes you've also made new friends. So Amy, can you kind of go a little in depth in as far as making new friends and the experiences you had with the friends that you took to LaBare?
Yeah. Well, the friends that I bring are usually the same two people. Sometimes it's just one of them. But I've known not to be at the table very much. Usually I'm outside on the smoking patio making friends. And I'm out there, promoting the guys, especially Cesar. But it's just I come back in and then there's all these people that I meet outside are all at our table. And my friends like, who did you meet now? Who are you bringing to our table? So, I love going and watching the guys perform and getting to hang out with them. But I also like going just to meet other people because everybody has a story. And I enjoy getting to know people's stories.
Yeah. And that is true. I have caught you all the time. Actually, when you visit, one of the things we talk about is all the people that you've met while you're out there in the smoking patio, which I don't necessarily think it would have been something you would have done, 3 years ago.
No, you are correct. If I would have gone out there, I would have been in the corner with my back turned, not making eye contact with any of them.
How about you, Sarah?
Well, again, really the only person I had to bring with me was my twin sister. And, she'd be like, no, I don't feel like going. So I'd still go by myself and I'd either find, another girl who was there by herself or, a group of people and they'd go, are you here by yourself? I'm like, yeah. They'd invite me to their table. We'd become friends, keep in touch. And there's still people I'll see at the club who I may not have seen in forever. I'm like, hey, and it's just, I've actually met some of my best friends at the club and it's just been a great experience. Because again, my friend pool was kind of small after the divorce just because everyone was married, having kids. And so it was nice to have some other fellow single friends that I could, again, go out with, have movie nights or go to the club together. So yeah, they helped make it fun and special.
Did either of you get any feedback from your friends that started this journey with you to the point that you are now? Sarah?
Well, my sister has definitely seen a change in me for the better. Remember at her birthday just recently, she was like, oh, she's come so far. And I think it's definitely helped me shape to be the woman I've always wanted to be that I just never really had the confidence for. And I think a lot of it because you guys have always been so nice and supportive. Again, I felt seen after, just feeling useless in a loveless marriage. So to finally start loving myself again has really helped me put me in a better place and just a happier person overall. And, once we love ourselves and we take care of ourselves better. And I think Amy and I, we just seem like we're in such a much better place now than, it's better, I guess, to, get over something bad and know it's going to be okay. And then you just end up being better than you ever thought you could be, which is always nice, So there is hope for those who might feel worthless right now, but you're just going to become even better than you are. So.
Absolutely.
Sweet. I like that. Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
Amy, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. All my friends and family have noticed a huge change in me. Of course, they like to give me lots of crap about going to a strip club. But that's okay. I'll take it. Whatever. I have a new job today that I would not have had if I wouldn't have the confidence that I have because of coming to the club and meeting the guys and the people that I meet. And it's a great job and I'm happy. I told you the other night when I saw you that I've got my smile back again. I had lost that and it feels so good to have that back. Even if it's just, I have friends that knew me before, when I was, at my heaviest weight, when I did hate myself, when I was just, my grandma, God rest her soul, told me that I was just a complete witch to be around, that I was so unpleasant. And I wish she could see me today, because it's a total 360 that I've made. And Sarah's right. It's great to love yourself.
I believe it. And that's the main reason why we're doing this podcast. So we talked about the friends that you've made along the way and the friends that you initially started this journey with. Are you seeing any difference in the people that you meet now that have seen you, that only know the you that you've transformed into? Amy, especially with your new job, which we'll go into in a minute. But yeah, you've met people obviously changing careers and things like that. Do you see any difference in, I guess, either how you're treated or how they view you, only knowing the you that you are now?
Absolutely. Even just today, I posted, it's a pretty significant anniversary for something in my life. And I posted a post on Facebook about it. And I put some progress pictures and stuff up that throughout the years that I have posted. And I kind of put them all side by side today. And the reaction that I'm getting from people that didn't know me back then, it's reassuring. I mean, I know I've changed. My close friends and family know I've changed. But now these new people that I'm dealing with, that I'm meeting, they never knew the old me. They've only known the new me. And for them, they can't fathom that I ever hated myself, because I am pleasant. I do like myself. I do have my confidence now. My new job, I had to get up in front of people and talk. That would have never happened before. And I don't really care for it to happen again, but it's something that I had to do, and I did it, and I rocked it, and I had a panic attack, but I got over it, and we're good now, and everything's great.
There's something to be said about that, though, because of the fact that, yes, you might have had a panic attack and because you were doing it and you adjusted. But the fact is that you gave yourself the opportunity to be in that scenario versus X amount of years ago, you wouldn't have even had that chance. You would have cut yourself off at the knees and never even had that opportunity. So
absolutely,
that in of itself is a huge, huge level up.
Yes.
Sarah, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I find myself surrounding myself with, like-minded people, positive people. I finally know my self-worth, so I refuse to kind of settle or be treated like how my ex treated, as if I didn't matter, or I wasn't really important. And, so it's kind of helped me figure out what I want and what I deserve, and not being the sweet Sarah I used to be and put up with it, and, being so loving, but then get nothing back. So it's also made me a tougher person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still that sweet person, but I just have a great support system now, and I don't feel alone anymore, which is really great. But again, it's really nice loving yourself, because again, your self-worth, and you won't put up with anything less than you deserve.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Let's talk about. Actually, I'll leave that last. I just no, never mind. It fits in here because we're talking about other people and outside influences. So let's talk about the flip side to that, and the negative influences or people that either you come in contact with now or that were there initially. Like, how did you guys deal with those people? I mean, obviously you always see the memes about cutting out negativity in your life, but memes are memes and people can say things, but sometimes actually dealing with yourself is a little more difficult. So let's talk a little bit about your own experiences with that, Sarah. If you want to go ahead and start us off with just the negativity or negative people in your life.
Okay. Again, after the divorce, I think I was so fragile. So I didn't really stand up for myself. I was very timid, and I was just kind of put up with nonsense. And, I started a new job too. And again, I was very quiet, but now I'm a lot tougher. I can be serious and firm, and people respect me now. So it's once I felt better about myself, then I knew I could stand up for myself and go, hey, you're not good for me. This isn't healthy, I need to just step away. And, I guess creating boundaries is now something I've been working on. And so it's kind of helped me become a more stronger and independent woman. It wasn't always easy, but gradually, the more I worked on myself, the more I realized, hey, they're not really treating me the way I, deserve to be treated. So I kind of slowly, one by one, cut out those toxic people in my life. And, after the divorce, I went to a support group for divorce. So that helped me too, just to, know that I wasn't alone, and that unfortunately there are crummy people out there who take advantage of their loved ones, but there are also really good people out there. And that's what you need to focus on, the people who are there for you and love you and support you no matter what, because at the end of the day, they'll be there for you through thick and thin. And, I'm just very grateful that I have a very loving and supportive family. They've helped me throughout all these years.
Man, that's so good. I'm so glad to hear it. Amy, what do you have to add on it?
I've always been a very independent person. So I was strong until I hit my bottom, and then I was weak. But people saw me as a strong person. I guess I fooled them very well. But I have empathy for the people who are negative now, not to a point of letting them walk all over me, because now I'm to the point of where they won't. I will just cut them out of my life like that. I don't care who you are. But I also try to figure out why. I try to help them because I've been there. And I don't want people to ever feel the way I felt about myself. And so if I could help at least one person to bring them out of that, then I will try my best. I have friends that I've been friends with since I was, in kindergarten, that even though we never talk, if they are struggling, I'm there to listen. I'm there to help, because I might be that one person that gives them the hope that there is something better out there. And because I had friends like that. And I still have friends. Like I said earlier, I'm a work in progress as well. So there are days, like just getting ready to do this podcast, I had negative feelings. I was like, oh no, I was doubting myself. And then I was like, no, so I do cut them out, but I also try to help them as well.
That's great. Man, you ladies are just absolutely phenomenal. All right. So moving towards the end of this show here, you both had mentioned various times that you had new careers. You had career choices and you changed them. And I think there is a direct correlation to the way you feel about yourself and the kind of job you have. And as you change and you have a little more self-worth and things like that, you realize that you deserve to have either a job that pays more or something that you enjoy doing, or something that just doesn't feel like you're stuck in a rut, which does happen to some people, and you both gain the courage to do that. So Amy, you had the more recent job change. So let's, if you don't mind, talk a little bit as far as what made you want to leave your old career, what gave you the confidence to change, and things like that, if you don't mind.
Actually, I was perfectly happy in my old job because I had found what I enjoyed doing. But we had some turnover happening, and I had my boss coming up telling me about this job that paid more than double what I make. And he pretty much talked me into it, to going up for it. And just because I work in government, I had to definitely put myself out there. I've had to talk and do things that before I was okay not doing. But now that I'm in it, I've been in it for a couple months now, and I love it. I have found exactly where I'm supposed to be. It's doing what I love. I love getting up and coming to work every morning. I love the people that I work with. Working for the government sometimes isn't all that great, but and even on the frustrating days, days that I have to work till 6 or 7 at night, it makes it all worth it. I have a great structured team. I have, I am the boss, so I try to be the good boss to my employees. I try to make their days better because I've been there where there weren't good days. So, and that I see now that I have more confidence in myself, it makes it easier to be happy, to be content with what I do have.
Sweet. Sarah, do you have any stories that you'd like to add?
Yes, I've been at this company for about 4 years now, a little bit over. So I actually was working here when I was going through the divorce, and they were so supportive. They let me take some time off, and they've been through divorce themselves, so they knew what I was going through. And I mean, they are like family to me, and I've had several promotions since starting working there, raises. I mean, they treat me like family. I feel like family. And that's why I drive an hour to and from every day. It's all the way out in the country. But, I love them and my job so much that it's worth it. And when I first took this job, my ex was saying, no, you don't, why take it? You don't know much about it. And I go, I'm unhappy where I'm currently working. So yeah, I'm going to take it. I wasn't going to let him interfere my job because, he was a soccer coach. So I was making all the money. And so I'm so glad I did take this job because everyone here is just so great. I'm happy. And, and they've seen a change in me too. I'm a lot more fun to be around. I smile a lot more, and again, a lot more stylish with my leather jackets from time to time. So yeah, it's good. I'm very happy.
Well, that is awesome, man. This is great. Like, this is so good. I can't imagine anyone not listening to this podcast and not smiling towards the end of it. So yeah, I think that just about covers it. Sarah, is there any little snippet of advice you'd like to give any of our listeners that you think might help them on their journey?
Absolutely. Know that you're not alone. Be yourself, because really at the end of the day, if you love yourself, that's all that matters. And again, if you're confident and you go out with confidence, it's going to rub off on everyone and they're just going to love you. And, there's nothing to be ashamed of about being yourself, quirks and all, it just makes you special. And again, don't ever feel like you're alone. Reach out to people, go out, socialize. There's nothing to be afraid of. We're all nice people. So yeah, go check it out. If you haven't been to LaBare, go check it out. You'll have fun.
Sweet. Appreciate the shout out there.
No problem.
Amy, what are your last words of wisdom?
Yeah, just piggybacking on Sarah, you're always going to be a work in progress. You're never going to be perfect. So even though you think right now you may not ever be that happy person you may not ever love yourself again, you will. I promise. You just have to work at it. And just because 5-6 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be sitting here telling you that. Everybody was better than me. No, you are amazing. No matter who you are, just like Sarah said, with your quirks, with everything, just have that confidence. And it's amazing how much better the world is now for me, that I do love myself and that I do have that confidence. And do go to LaBare and find Cesar and get a hug, and that will make your day a lot better.
True.
Sweet. Man, I love the enthusiasm. You ladies are awesome. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and put a bow on this. I'd like to mention the Florida versus Texas battle of the Florida and Texas dance battle. April 25th is when it's going to go down. We have the guys from Miami and Fort Lauderdale, LaBare, coming up to battle it out like we do every year. I believe this is the 5th or 6th year. I think 6th year going. So definitely come out and check it out. See some new entertainers, some different styles and things like that. It would definitely benefit you. And then social media. Sarah, where can people reach you at if they want to ask you for some advice or just give you compliments on your story?
Feel free to reach me on Instagram at sarahcat.xo. That's Sarah with an H. Again, it's a public profile, but if you love cats, flowers, music, then come on, stop by, say hi. I'm always happy to give out any advice, especially if you're recently divorced or anything like that. I'm very nice, I promise.
Sweet, that's awesome. You're great. All right, you can catch me on Facebook at Cesar Collazo, COLLAZO. You can also catch my social media on Instagram and Twitter at Cesar LaBare 7, where I post pretty much stuff just to stay up to date with me. And I recently started a Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Jedi_EJ, where I actually live stream some of my hobbies, for example, my circus stuff, my fire performing, some of my cosplay, and then some of my video game play whenever I get free time to do that. So you guys could definitely check in there, hang out with me, chat it up live. Sweet. With that, we will call it a show. Sarah, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Happy to help.
I can hear your smile from here. This is great.
He caught me.
Yep. Amy, it was, like I said, it was just kind of a random idea that popped in my head. You had a little bit of hesitation, but you were down to do it and supported me the whole way. Thank you so much for stepping outside your comfort zone and doing this for me and being on the show. I really appreciate you being here.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Awesome. All right. Well, with that, appreciate you all tuning in. Until next time, keep bringing the rain.
I'm the captain now. I am focused, I'm in my zone. You can binge watch like Game of Thrones. Reserve your judgments, don't throw no stones. Who's and I scream as loud as you don't. Airplane mode on tablets and phones. Caesar's crowd pleasers is now on. Caesar, the crowd pleaser. If you need to pick me up, ladies, we gon' change your demeanor. Caesar, the crowd pleaser. We gon' do a little dance, we gon' make the naysayers believe us.